Today in class, I'd like to work with you on a poem by Shel Silverstein. It's called Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout, the girl who would not take the garbage out. Think about doing chores when you were growing up. Was there a chore that you had to do? Were you responsible for washing the dishes? Did you have to take the garbage out? Did you have to make your bed? What were the rules about chores when you were growing up? Oh, you had to take the garbage out? 2 bags, 1 bag, recycling? Did you have to make your bed? Who got to do the dishes? Did you like doing the dishes because you got to play in the water and it was nice and warm and sudsy? Take a moment and talk with your partner about a time you didn't want to do a chore. So turn to your neighbor, take about a minute. Good. Good. Today, I want to read a poem with you. You might think it's kind of gross, but it can be kind of fun if you let it. Poetry will help you read expressively, and it will help you learn vocabulary and sounds because you'll hear words in different contexts, and you'll hear them enunciated, but you'll also hear them spoken quickly. So it's a really good way to familiarize yourself with words. Science says we learn more when we're playing or when we don't actually mean to be learning. So relax a little and don't be afraid to be a little expressive or a little silly. First, I'm going to play the recording for you, and I'd like you to follow along. Then we'll read part of the poem together, and then I'll ask you to read, still just part of the poem, and after that we'll look more closely at a few words and sounds. So please read and listen at the same time. Here it goes.
Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. Poem by Shel Silverstein. Sarah Cynthia Sylvia Stout would not take the garbage out. She'd scour the pots and scrape the pans, candy the yams and spice the hams.
Candied yams don't sound too bad. What were some of the difficult sounds for you? Were there some words that kind of tripped you up, that you kind of stumbled over? Think of some words and jot them down in your notebooks. And a little bit later, I'll ask you to choose a marker and write them on the board. But right now, I'm going to start with the sound. Coffee grounds. See if you can figure out what one I'm focusing on. Coffee grounds, potato peelings, prune pits, peach pits, orange peel, soggy beans, and tangerines. Okay, so other than vowels, what letter appears here in maybe once or twice in every line? And so here's the quirk. It might be the same letter but have different pronunciations. Not a vowel. Yes, G. Coffee grounds, potato peelings, prune pits, peach pits, orange peel. There's a G in grounds and a G in peelings and a G here in tangerines. But do they sound the same? No, not quite. Here's where you see those sounds on the chart that we have. So there can be a hard G like in go, or kind of a Z like in June. It's not quite a Z like in zoo, but it still buzzes just a little bit. It's made by putting your tongue up near your teeth and it tickles a little bit. Try it. So turn to your neighbor. See if you can make pairs of words with the G sounds, where the G sounds the same. Turn to your neighbor and read the list, and then let them read the list, and then see if you can match 2 sets of words with the same G sound. So just to start, we've got tangerine and goat. Do those match? Tangerine and goat. Not a match. Okay, your turn. Right. Tangerine and giraffe. Yes, right. The G sounds kind of like a zh. Try it. It might kind of tickle. Zh, tangerine, giraffe. And then goat and gum. Right. The G says G. Okay, did anybody come up with any other ones? Okay, any more pairs? One more. Goggles and chewing. That's a tricky one. That's good because the G is at the beginning here and at the end here, but they still make the same sound. Nice work. Okay, in a few minutes, we're going to move on from working with the sound to working with words. In a few minutes, I'm going to want you to choose a few lines to memorize. You might choose lines with foods you like, or there might be a food in the poem that your family has a story about. So putting a picture in your head will help you remember. As you're standing up to recite your line, you could picture a slide of each of the food flashing up. Like I've got a turkey here or a steak. Not what you want to find in the trash, right? First, though, turn to your partner again and talk for a few minutes about how you would handle having your own children do chores. 2 minutes. Go. That's all for now. Thank you.